Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Subhadramaya, Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gaurahari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol. जय ओम विष्णुपाद Paramhamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtotter Sat Sri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. Today we are reading from second canto, second chapter, that is the Lord in the Heart, and we are reading the 15th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from second canto, second chapter, 15th verse. Stiram sukam chasanam astito yatir yada jihasur imamangalokam kale cha dese cha manona sajjayed prananiyacchen manasa jitasuhu stiram sukam chasanam astito yatir yada jihasur imamangalokam kale cha dese cha mano na sajjayet prananiyacchen manasa jitasuhu stiram sukam chasanam astito yatir yada jihasurima-mangalokam kale cha dese cha mano na sajjayet prananiyacchen manasa jitasuhu. Please recite. Kale cha dese cha mano na sajjayet prananiyacchen manasa jitasuhu. Tiram sukam chasanamastito yatir yada jihasurima-mangalokam kale cha dese cha mano na sajjayet pranam niyacchen manasa jitasu. Tiram sukam chasanamastito yatir yada jihasurima-mangalokam kale cha dese cha mano na sajjayet prananiyacchen. Matajis. Word to word meaning: Stiram, without being disturbed. Sukam, comfortable. Cha, also. Asanam, sitting accommodation. Astitaha, being situated. Yatihi, the sage. Yada, whenever. Jihasuhu, desires to give up. Imam, this. Anga, O king. Lokam, this body. Kale, in time. Cha, and. Deshe, in a proper place. Cha, also. Mana, the mind. Na, not. Sajjayed, may not be perplexed. Pranan, the senses. Niyached, must control. Manasa, by the mind. Jita asuhu, conquering the life air. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O king, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed by the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the life air, should control the senses by the mind. Please repeat after me. O king, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the life air, should control the senses by the mind. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 8.14, it is clearly stated that a person who is totally engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and who constantly remembers Him at every step easily obtains the mercy of the Lord by entering into its personal contact. Such devotees do not need to seek an opportune moment to leave the present body, but those who are mixed devotees, alloyed with fruitive action or empirical philosophical speculation, requires an opportune moment for quitting this body. For them, the opportune moment are stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.23 to 26. But these opportune moments are not as important as one being successful yogi who is able to quit his body as he likes. Such a yogi must be competent to control his senses by the mind. The mind is easily conquered by simply engaging it at the lotus feet of the Lord. Gradually, by such service, all the senses become automatically engaged in the service of the Lord, and that is the way of merging into the Supreme Absolute. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyata Deshatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Niti Namine Shri Varshbhanavi Devi Dayataye Kripade Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namah Madhuryojjvala Prema Jaya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Papasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambude Padambujayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virba Bhumesvam Nirdesna Sajjana Priya Vaishnavam Sarva Bhumo Shri Jagannadayate Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo nama. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Nama. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jetam Surato Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Matsarvastu Padambujo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Dvrundaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalibi Sevimana Smarami Srimad Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vada Tadastita Karshan Venu Swiner Gopi Gopinada Estri Estuna Tapta Kanchena Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you all for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. And before starting, I would like to take blessing from all the Vaishnavas assembled so that I can speak about this exalted topic of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Pariksit Maharaj. It's mentioning, O king. So he is mentioning to Pariksit Maharaj. Whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the life air, should control the senses by the mind. So he is speaking about how a mystic yogi, how he leaves the body. So here we can see from the purport also. Here Srila Prabhupada mentioning that in the Bhagavad Gita 8.14 it is clearly mentioned that stated that a person who is totally engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord and who constantly remembers him at every step easily obtains the mercy of the Lord by entering into his personal contact. So what is this 8.14? It says that Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityasa Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasa Yogina. So it's mentioned about constant engagement. So it's mentioned Tasyaham Sulabham Partha. So for those people I am easily to obtain. So who can obtain Krishna very easily? Ananya Cheta Satatam. Ananya means they don't have any other engagement. They don't have any other engagement. And Yomam Smarati Nityasa, those who are constantly remembering Krishna. Tasyaham Sulabha Partha, for them I am easy to obtain. Nitya Yuktasya Yogina, because they are completely under my engagement. Because of their constant engagement in devotional service. So Krishna is telling, so in this verse, this constant engagement is mentioned 3 times. Nityasaha and Satatam and again Nitya Yuktasya. So this constant engagement. So who are constantly engaged in Krishna's service, in serving Krishna, for them it is Krishna is very easy to obtain. Means undeviated in any circumstances. So such persons can attain Krishna very easily, having no other thoughts. And Prabhupada he mentions that a mind is easily conquered simply by engaging it at the lotus feet of the Lord. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So here we can see in the case of Pariksit Maharaj, so he was he was hearing from Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami, he is speaking about how a mystic yogi, how he comfortably sits, and because his mind is fixed upon the Krishna, so he doesn't need any proper time. Generally, we see in Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, also attaining the Supreme, it is mentioned from 8 chapter 23rd to 26th verse. Some of the yogis, they see the proper time. So when is the Uttarayan, like when the sun goes towards the north side, when the Uttarayan starts, so at the time they try to leave the body. In the auspicious day, they don't leave their body in the time of night, or and on the Uttarayan time. So they keep their, means they want to leave the body at a particular time. And mystic yogi, they have that power. Just like we see in the case of Bhishmadev, he was not a mystic yogi, but he got the benediction from his father, that he got Ichha Mrityu, that he can die at a time when he wants to die. Still he chosen the time of Uttarayan. After Sankranti, at the time he disappeared. And if you see from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on Moksha Ekadashi day, and on Gita Jayanti day. On the first day he spoke Bhagavad Gita, and it was Moksha Ekadashi. And after 10 days, Bhishmadev, on the 10th day, Bhishmadev got shot. Means Arjuna means pierced his body with lot of arrows, and Bhishmadev was lying on the battlefield with these arrows. And after 18 days completed, then the battlefield got completed, and after a few days, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was lamenting that because of me only this havoc has happened. Millions of people, crores of people, soldiers have died. And then Krishna, to pacify him, he takes him to Bhishmadev. So he takes him to Bhishmadev, and there Bhishmadev, he speaks. So it's mentioned in Mahabharata that Bhishmadev gives a discourse for 50 days. For 50 days he speaks about, he speaks about Vishnu Sahasranama, he speaks about lot of things, and finally he speaks about how he speaks about politics also, how you should manage the government, all these things, how you should manage your kingdom, how you should take care of the people, all these things he speaks. And then he speaks about his devotional service unto Krishna. Then he says, let my mind become attached towards Krishna. So you can open the verse. First chapter, 9th verse, 39th sloka. 1939. First canto, 9th chapter, 39th verse. There you can see that, open. So it's mentioned that Vijaya Rata Kutumba Atta Totre Dritahaya Rasmini Tat Sriyekshaniye Bhagavati Rastume Mumurshur Yamiha Niriksha Gata Swarupam. So we can see here that how Bhishmadev, he was meditating upon the form of the Lord. Here you can see that Bhishmadev was more fortunate than Arjuna. Why? Because Bhishmadev was able to see Krishna riding the chariot, like he was catching with his left hand the whips, and with his right hand he was which we control the horses. With his left hand he was catching those reses, and with the right hand they beat with horses. So like a whip. So like that he was doing, and his hair was in the air. His hair was flowing. Krishna's hair was flowing, and Bhishmadev was able to see this form of the Lord. But Arjuna was behind Krishna, so Arjuna couldn't take darshan of this form of the Lord. I will just open that verse. So he says that at that moment, let my attraction to be to the Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of the Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and the bridle rope on his left hand, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. Yamiha niriksha Hatagata Swarupam. So who has taken darshan of Krishna in the battlefield? They all went home back to Godhead. So that was the transcendental appearance of Krishna. So here in this purport, Prabhupada says that, so pure devotee can never forget the Lord for a moment. Because a pure devotee of the Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself because of his being transcendently related by loving service. And such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance, samadhi. The mystic yogis try to concentrate upon the super soul by controlling the senses from all other engagements. So for a mystic yogi, their process is mechanical. They try to Ashtanga yoga, they try to control their senses, control their mind by force, and they try to do mechanical arrangement of breathing air, breathing exercises, and it is very mechanical process and very difficult also, especially in Kali Yuga. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or a trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal future along with his holy name, fame, pastimes. Therefore, the concentration of mystic yogi and the devotee and that of a devotee are not on the same level. Okay? So the mystic yogis, his concentration is on the mechanical or the material platform, and a devotee, it is in the transcendental platform. The concentration of the mystic is mechanical, whereas that of a pure devotee is natural, in pure love and spontaneous affection. Bhishmadeva was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered the battlefield future of the Lord as Parthasarathi. So we can see as Krishna as Parthasarathi, who has become a chariot driver of Arjuna, and Bhishmadeva was able to see this form of Krishna as a Parthasarathi who was riding the chariot of Arjuna. And you can see that in the before verse, on 34th verse, where Bhishmadeva says that Yuditura garajo vidumra vishva tachalulita shramavaaryalam kritasye mama nisita share vibidyamana tvacha vilasat kavachestu krishnatma. So on the battlefield, where Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust risen by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his labor, the beads of sweat wetted his face, and all these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go on to Krishna. So Bhishmadeva was lying on the battlefield and he was remembering all these things. So Bhishmadeva, when he was in the battlefield, he was trying to pierce with his arrows to the arm, like Krishna was having this armor, and Bhishmadeva was trying to pierce with his arrows through his armor. And here Krishna was accepting those arrows like a flowers. Just like we offer flowers to Krishna, and the devotees who are in Virya Rasa, so they cannot offer flowers in the battlefield. So they were offering arrows, and Krishna was accepting like that. And here you can see the Bhishmadeva was clearly describing the features of Krishna. You can understand how much he was constantly meditating upon Krishna in the battlefield. He was telling that his hair was flowing in the air because of lot of wind, and because horses were in front of him. He was catching those horses, and because of the what's mentioned here, hoofs of the horses, because of the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, though the dust, it got accumulated on the hair. So his hair was dusty, Krishna's hair was dusty, and his hair was flowing, and his hair was full of sweat, because he was doing a hard labor for protecting Krishna, for protecting Arjuna. Lot of sweat was there, and because Bhishma he pierced with thousands of arrows Krishna's body with lot of arrows, and that blood also decorated Krishna's body. So though Bhishma Dev was remembering this Krishna's mind, like Krishna's body in his mind. So that's what Prabhupada is saying in this shloka. Somehow or other, keep your mind attached to Krishna's body. Somehow or other. Ena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. Somehow or other, engage your mind upon Krishna's lotus feet or transcendental body. We can see from Ambrish Maharaj shloka also, when he was telling, he first mentioned about mind. What he says? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor. So meditate your mind upon the lotus feet of Krishna. So if our mind is engaged upon the lotus feet of Krishna, then it is very easy to control the senses, because it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that even one of the senses are so powerful, they are like powerful serpents. Even one of the senses, agitated senses can like swept away the mind, just like a wind can blow away the boat. In the same way, the senses can easily deviate the mind. The senses are so powerful. But if we engage the mind unto the lotus feet of Krishna, then it can be controlled if we properly engage the mind. So what to do? So Bhishma Deva has already mentioned, we should engage our mind in meditating upon the transcendental form of the Lord. We can see from the story of Haridas Thakur also. So when he was leaving the body, how was he? So when he was leaving the body, he was taking darshan of the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus face, and he kept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet upon his chest. So that was his scene. In Bhishma Dev's scenario also, when he was about to die, Krishna was there present in front of him personally, and he was meditating upon Krishna like in battlefield also. And in Haridas Thakur's scenario, when he was about to leave his body, so he was chanting, we know that Sri Krishna Chaitanya, like that he was chanting loudly. Madhur Khane Prabhu, he gave class in Bhivandi. At that time he was also like in ecstasy. So Haridas Thakur, he was meditating upon, he was completely in trance, he was chanting loudly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, and he kept his lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his heart, near his chest, and he was taking darshan of the lotus face of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that consciousness, he left his body. So that was their scenario. And what about our scenario? Our scenario is we are in the association of devotees. Okay, at least we are fortunate that we are in the association of devotees. We can see in the example of Pariksit Maharaj, he know that he was going to die, and he has got 7 days, and here Sukadeva Goswami, he is speaking in 2nd canto that a yogi, he should never be perplexed. He should be comfortable in the seat, and like that he hears whole 7 days the discourse. And when Takshaka came, he was completely in trance. If Parikshit Maharaj, he was completely in trance. Other sages, they were like little bit disturbed, but Parikshit Maharaj, he was completely fixed his mind upon Lord Krishna. And when Takshaka came, he did not kill with poison. Like when he bite him, the fire came up from Takshaka's mouth. Fire came, and he burnt the body of Parikshit Maharaj. Even though his body was burning, still Parikshit Maharaj was not disturbed. So that was his scenario. So he was that much fixed. He fixed his mind upon Lord Krishna. Our scenario means we cannot expect at least Takshaka will be coming and biting us. So that will not happen, and we don't know when we are going to die. At least Pariksit Maharaj has got 7 days, and we don't know when we are going to die. The Prabhuji who gave class, he was telling about a devotee who gave Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, and after half an hour he got some heart attack, and he was taken into the hospital and he died. The devotee name was Shyam Sundar Jagannath Prabhu. He was giving a lecture in Mayapur, and then he came out of the room, he came out of the temple, and he was walking, and he got suddenly chest pain, and they immediately took to him the hospital, and in the hospital he left his body. And at least he gave Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class before, so his mind might be fixed upon Lord Krishna, and her wife, she was thanking the devotee who gave Bhagavatam class. At least you gave Bhagavatam class to my husband, so he might have concentrated his mind. Because to give Bhagavatam class, at least previous day or on the day night, we cannot sleep actually, because we have to prepare for the class. In other days, generally, we are supposed to read Srila Prabhupada books every day, but we don't take it so seriously. But at least when the Bhagavatam class is on the next day, we take it very seriously. Whether Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class, we definitely at least read for 1 hour. At least minimum 1 hour we hear, or at least in my case, I definitely prepare. Without preparing, I cannot give. So the devotee, so that Mataji, she was congratulating the devotee who gave Bhagavatam class, because at least at that time we become more serious about our mind. Actually, the mind is so contaminated thing. We don't know that it takes lot of time to purify the mind, and we don't know at any moment death can come, at any moment. So it is very difficult. So that's why we should properly, we should be serious actually. We should, every day we should engage our time properly without wasting our time. We should engage ourselves properly. It is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Nirdehamadyam sulabam sudurlabam plavam sukalpam guru karnadaram mayanukule nabasva taritam puman bhavabdin natarat sa atmaha. So human, though this, so we have got this human body. So it's mentioned that this human body is a perfectly constructed body, which has a power, or which has a ability to cross over this material ocean. And in this human body, even though it is sudurlabam, means it is very rarely obtained, but sulabam means in this it is sulabam. Why? Because this body is perfectly constructed, or it is perfectly constructed by Krishna, so that we can engage in this very lifetime in devotional service. And further it is mentioned that by accepting a spiritual master as a captain, by accepting a spiritual master who becomes a captain of the ship, and mayanukulena nabasva taritam, means the causeless mercy of Krishna becomes a favorable winds, which helps the boat to go towards supreme destination of Krishna. So here we can see the 3 things. One is that we have got the human body, which is a perfect boat, and we have accepted the spiritual master who becomes the captain of the ship, and the favorable winds, they become the favorable winds which takes the boat towards the supreme destination. They are the Vedic literatures. So Krishna has given us this spiritual master, and through the spiritual master Krishna dictates us, and he gave us this Vedic literature also, and he gave us this human body also. So after giving us all after giving us all these facilities, still if we don't become serious in Krishna consciousness, then it is like Puman Bhavabdin Natarat Sa Atmaha. That means we are killer of our own self. That means we are killing our own soul. So soul can never be killed. So what is meaning of killing our own soul means we are killing our own spiritual life. So if we don't become serious in our spiritual life, that means we are killing our own soul. So that's what. So like that we see from the Bhishmadeva scenario and from the how Bhishmadeva disappeared and how Haridas Thakur disappeared. So when we see the disappearance of devotees, it is like both Harsha and Soka, because we are in lamentation because we are missing the association of devotees. We are in Shoka, and we are happy also that because it is a very glorious departure, means he is going home back to Godhead. Because he is going home back to Godhead, that means that is very glorious. So we are happy also. So when a devotee is disappearing, so at that time devotees are in both lamentation and happy also, rejoice state also. And if we don't take, and if we are not practicing seriously, and we can think that I have lot of time, and still there is so many years are there, I can practice for long time, in future I will become more serious. Right now let me engage in sense gratification. Like that if we think, but actually that doesn't work, because in the old age the circumstances are more difficult. When the body is right now fit, it is more easy to remember Krishna, but in the old age it is more difficult. We see from this Shankaracharya's Bhajagovindam, he says that Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam Dasha Vihinam Jatam Tundam Vriddho Gati Grihitvam Dandam Tadapi Na Muchyate Yadi Dandam. He says that Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam means, so the whole body, the power from the body, it goes away. So in the old age what happens? Whatever the power we have, whatever the energy we have, it goes away. That's why you see the old age people, they generally bend their body. They usually walk using crutches, or at least they take the help of a stick, because they don't have power to walk also. And further he says that Dasha Vihinam Jatam Tundam means exactly I don't know the translation. It says that the whole body is like twisted, means the body is very incompetent to perform any type of activity. And the gums, whatever the teeth we have now, the teeth are gone. And the hair, whatever the hair is there, it becomes bald, like shaven head. Like hair becomes bald and all the tooths are gone, and the whole the kantha is full of mucus. So it is very difficult to speak also. If the full mouth is full of mucus, it is very difficult to speak. And he has lot of body pains. He will have lot of body pains. So there are body pains, and his body doesn't have any shakti or like power, and it doesn't have any teeth, and hair is gone. So in all these circumstances, it is very, very difficult to remember Krishna. So from right now only we should practice ourselves to remember Krishna. So we have 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. At least one of the devotional service we should take it up very seriously. At least one of it we should take it up very, very seriously. Either Shravanam, every day hearing from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That is, constant engagement is required. That is a very easy way to obtain Krishna. Constant engagement means every day we should hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam without any like we should not miss. We cannot say that I am grahastha, I stay in the home, how to hear we should not give any excuses, because everyone is going to die, and it is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that we should definitely hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam every day, and we should read Srila Prabhupada books. Shravanam, Kirtanam. If you see Kirtanam, chanting 16 rounds is must, and attentive chanting. And I was hearing one of the devotees class, he was telling that there is oceanic difference between chanting attentively and chanting inattentively. Everyone chants, but qualitative chant of attentive chanting, that gives immense effect in consciousness. And inattentive chanting, it will give, but not that much. So there is oceanic difference between attentive chanting and inattentive chanting. And those who are serious, they will definitely chant attentively. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And if we are serious in Shravanam and Kirtanam, then we'll automatically remember Krishna. And Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. And if you see the deity worship, so those who are worshipping, those who are doing deity worship, so they generally meditate upon Krishna's form. So when they are inside the altar, they see the lordships, Shri Radha Madhav, Gaur Nitai, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So when they are worshipping, they are offering lamp, they are meditating upon the transcendental form of the Lord. They take darshan of the lotus feet, they take darshan of the novel and the lotus face and the whole transcendental body. They are supposed to meditate upon these different parts of the body of the Lord. That's why it is designed, so that they are purposefully or automatically they are engaged in the meditating upon the Lord. So those who regularly perform deity worship, so their mind becomes automatically attached to the transcendental form of the Lord. And if we are given service of deity worship and still if we don't do, that means we are not taking the benefit of it. Sometimes it happened in my case also. Sometimes they give me service, I deny. Especially in the morning time, Jagaran Seva, because we are supposed to get up at 3 o'clock. It becomes little difficult because of laziness. We don't get up and we give up the service. Means Lord is giving the facility. Devotees are helping us. Still out of our laziness and complacentness, we don't take up the service of the Lord. So then we are, that is our misfortune position. So that's why whenever we get any service of the Lord, whether either performing deity worship or giving class, we should not deny it. Okay? Because that will help us engaging our mind. That will help us engaging in the mind. Sometimes we may give excuses like in speaking in public, it is very difficult for me. I feel very shy. So all this type of excuses we cannot give. Okay, because who are giving us this service, they are actually real benefactor, they are really well-wishers for us, because they are engaging our mind. So like this, every day we are, by engaging in the service of Krishna, every day, day by day, month by month, year by year, then our mind becomes attached to either Krishna's name or Krishna's form or Krishna's service. So by that, and in the final moments, we will remember Krishna. And it is mentioned in Varaha Puran. Even though if we don't remember Krishna, but because we whole life we have served Krishna, so Krishna will remember us. Suppose by some or other case, if we don't remember Krishna at the time of death, because whole life we have dedicated, and if we engaged in service of Krishna, Krishna will remember us at the time of death. So that's why engagement, this proper engagement is very, very important. If we are not properly engaged, if we are not properly engaged in every day, then, and we can understand that anyway, we'll go out of temple actually, because if there is no proper engagement, and if some Maya attacks, then definitely we'll move out of Krishna consciousness. That's why we should see ourselves is in our whole day, am I properly engaged? That's why we hear that in 24 hours we have 24 hours, then we should keep schedule of 26 hours like that. Like that we can engage ourselves. Okay? Thank you very much. It's already 9 o'clock. Okay? If you have any questions, comments, or if you have committed any mistake, you can please. Any questions from this topic? No questions? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.